Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the Whizzer build series. For the last while now, the exhaust has been burning my pants for some reason. This corner right here usually sits about that far below my pant legs, and it hasn't been an issue in the past, but recently it has just been burning like the back of my pants, so I think it's finally time to make a new exhaust. This one was made to replace the other one, which was just plumbing. But even this, I'm still not really a fan of it. It heats up a lot along here because the exhaust gas, well, the exhaust hits right here, stays there for longer, comes around here, hits another 90 degrees, and then it's just pretty much a straight pipe all the way to the exhaust. Well, the end of it. But because of that, like, first time I started this up, the metal around here turned blue. Around here it turned yellow. And everywhere else it just started rusting. So I think it's time to make a better exhaust, one that won't burn me. And one that looks a little better than this, because I made this in, I think 3 days it took. So, let's get into that. I just got the exhaust off, didn't take too long. And I did that just so that I don't have to take it off later, because last time I made the exhaust, I was going back and forth a lot, just trying to figure out what angles I need to make, what cuts I have to do. So, just to help me out a little bit, took it off. Looks a little different with no exhaust. Reminds me of how it used to look. Exhaust over here now. Weighs almost nothing. Like, that's one hand and I can still move it around easily. And there's only there's only 3 different cuts I had to make to this. The first thing I do have to make, though, is a new template. Well, a new little plate, just because the way it goes on to the engine. I could use either plumbing, like a threaded pipe, or I can use the 2 bolt holes, which is what I did for this. And luckily, when I was making that, I decided to keep the exhaust gasket because I knew that I was going to need it. So I don't have to copy anything down now. I can just copy this straight onto metal. So I'm going to do that and I'll be back. I have it sketched onto the metal. So the next step is just going to be to cut out a little square, then just cut all around it. And after I do that, I'm just going to drill it too. So I'll be back when I have all that done. I've got the piece all cut out. It's cut, drilled, sanded. Fits everywhere. And if I'm lucky enough, I might be able to slot it onto this pipe, which is the one I'm going to be using. There we go. Yeah. The pipe I'm using, it's just from a trampoline. I don't know when we had a trampoline, but we haven't had it since I've been alive, so just using the pipe for the exhaust. A little longer than that one, but what I'm planning to do is I'm going to weld this plate on here, and then I'm going to mount it onto the bike, or at least get it close and just figure out what angles I need so I can mark it and then cut it and bend it. Pretty much what I did for the last one. So let's see if I can go do that. I got it all welded together. Pretty happy with the welds, they look good. I couldn't see while I was welding, so that's why there's random bits of sputters, but there's quite a few good spots. Right there is pretty good. Yeah, like where I go off right at the top there. That's where I couldn't see. But it's strong, looks way better than the welds on that one. Spots, so happy with that. And I also marked out where I have to do my first cut to make the first bend. So I'll do that next. I got the first cut done, and you can see it's in 2 pieces. Didn't intend for that to happen, but went a little bit further than expected, so it's fine. Because apparently I marked it in the wrong spot, so it's actually a good thing that it did come off. And now all I have to do is I have to find out where I have to, or what angle I have to rotate that at. Then I have to weld it, and that'll be it for the first bend. So, I'll be back when I get that done. The first bend is completely done. I welded it, trimmed it up a little bit so it looks nice, and I'm happy with it. I tested how airtight it is by putting this end on a little knee pad. That little black, the little black knee pad right over there. Apparently air doesn't go through it too well, so I put it on that and I blew on the other end, and I couldn't put any air through it, so this is nice and vacuum tight. I could see pretty good, so the welds looked better. This is what the original welds looked like for this exhaust. It broke off there. They didn't look the best. So, I'm very happy with this. And, while I was checking that out, I also marked off the spot where I have to make the next cut. So, I'll be back when I get that done. I'm halfway through the second cut. I just have the exhaust temporarily bolted on. I still have to do a little bit of trim work there because it's not going flush. But as you can see, it is starting to look pretty good. I like it. It's just going straight into the ground there. And that's because I just tack welded this up. It's still a little warm. But it is looking good. I just wanted to make sure that I was getting the bend right because I had a hard time cutting it at the right angle. So just wanted to show how it's going along. So be back when I get this welded up. I've got the second bend all welded up. Everything looks nice. And while it was on the bike, I also marked down where it has to be cut next. So I'll be back when I get that done. Third bend is almost done and it's looking pretty good. I only have this backside tack welded so far. I'm just making sure it's actually not going to hit anything and make sure it looks good. Looks a little weird. Not as streamlined as I would like, but I don't have a pipe bender, so not much that I can do. But once I get this done, I only have to do one more bend, and I want to do a little curve down here just so that the exhaust isn't coming out, because you can see where the old exhaust was. So I just want to have it bent down so it's pointing into the ground a little bit more. I think it would make it look nice and maybe sound a little bit better, or quieter at least. So I'll be back when I'm done the third bend. I have the third bend completely finished. It's all welded up. And I still have the exhaust on here because I'm trying to plan out where the last bend has to go. I found out there's a slight bit of interference from the kickstand, well, center stand. When I put it up, it hits like right here. So I'm going to make my bend right here and angle it off this way a little bit. Just so that when I put the kickstand up, or center stand up I should say, it won't hit. So yeah, there's not much space here. And I thought about it right when I finished welding this up, but it was too late then, so. Good thing I plan to do another cut here, so I'll be back when I'm done that. The final bend is all welded up and looks nice. That also marks up the end of the exhaust pipe. Everything's done on it. I filed where I welded here so the bolts can fit on. That fits flush. I do need an exhaust gasket for it. I'll do that on a later date. I don't have one on hand, so it'll be fine. I didn't have one for the last exhaust, but I'll do that at some point. It shouldn't burn my pant legs anymore. Doesn't stick out past the seat, so you can see. Flush with the spring. And if I put the saddlebag down, it goes right around the saddlebag. It's on the stand right now, so the saddlebag's kind of leaning forwards. That's why it looks a little close there. It'll level out though once I take it off the stands. Oh yeah, and the center stand also goes by with like 1/4 inch of room, so that's all nice. Curious Curious to hear what it sounds like, but I'll have to wait because it's nighttime, so. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.